Hello everybody, as you already know, we are talking about the exam called first, and today we're going to focus on the second part of the speaking paper called long turn. So what's in the long turn? Well, the interlocutor gives you two photographs and the task. You have to speak about the photographs for about 1 minute without interruption. Let's take a look at how it works. Imagine that you get these two photographs from the interlocutor, and the interlocutor tells you, here are your photographs. They show people traveling in different situations. I'd like you to compare the photographs and say why the people have decided to travel in these situations. Did you hear the question? Well, don't worry if you didn't, because the question always goes with the photographs. So here you can see it. Why have the people decided to travel in these situations? Now let's talk about how we should do this task, how we should do it properly. Well, my question is, how would you do it? Would you start doing it by describing everything you can see in the photographs? No, that's not a good idea. Because do you remember that the interlocutor said, I'd like you to compare the photographs. So you need to talk about both photographs at the same time. You need to compare them rather than just describe them. So this is a common mistake. And also another common mistake is that people start describing the pictures and they forget about the question. So remember that there is a question that you need to answer. Why have the people decided to travel in these situations? So how can we do it? First of all, think about any obvious similarities and differences. Well, for example, what similarities can you see? What is obvious is that in picture 1 and in picture 2, people are traveling. What is also obvious is that they are traveling with other people. So they must be using public transport. Talking about differences. So what differences can you spot? Well, the most obvious difference is in the mode of transport. For example, in the first picture, people are traveling by bus. And in the second picture, people are traveling by plane. What are the differences can we spot? Like, for example, in the second picture, people are carrying suitcases. And how about in the first picture? In the first picture, they're just carrying some backpacks and normal bags. So now let's think about some appropriate strategies that we could use to talk about these similarities and differences in English. So, what phrases can we use to talk about similarities? For example, in both pictures, right? To talk about similarities, we can use this phrase. In both pictures, we can see people traveling. What else can we use to talk about similarities? What other linkers can we use to talk about similar things? So, for example, in picture 1 as well as in picture 2, people are using public transport. Well, now talking about differences. Now, what linking words, what phrases can we use in English to talk about differences? In English, there is a nice word that we can use, that can be used to talk about two ideas that are contrasting. That is to say, this word is used to compare and contrast two ideas, and this is what we need to talk about differences when we are comparing two pictures. So this word is whereas. Do you know it? Whereas. So for example, in the first picture, people are traveling by bus, whereas in the second picture, people are traveling by plane. Well, what else could we use to talk about differences? To talk about differences, we could say, In the first picture, people are carrying backpacks and bags, but in the other picture, people are carrying suitcases. So, and now we are going to answer the question that we need to answer in the task. Why have the people decided to travel in these situations? So, as we have just said, in the second picture, people are carrying suitcases and they're traveling by plane, which means that they must be um, going on a long trip. For example, they might be going on holiday or on a business trip. So this is how you could do this task. This is how you could describe and compare the two photographs and answer the question that you need to answer. As soon as you have finished talking about your photographs, the other candidate will get a question about your photographs that they need to answer. And then they will have to speak their own photographs. So they will get two photographs from the interlocutor two and a question for them to discuss. But you don't need to focus on this question because it's just for them. So they're going to compare their two photographs and speak about the photographs for about a minute. After that, you will be asked a question about the other candidate's photographs. So it's a good idea to listen to the other candidate describing their two photographs because you're going to be asked a question about these photographs. So for example, what question might you be asked about these two photographs? It could be, for example, do you ever go to art galleries and museums? And this time you have to answer the question, the interlocutor's question, for about 30 seconds. Remember that you should use a variety of vocabulary and structure to show your knowledge of the English language. So I hope that this video has been helpful for you. And that's all for now. In the next video, I'll tell you about the third part of the speaking paper. Stay with us. Bye-bye.